Hello again and welcome back to March May's Midlife Dolly Crisis. Today I'm doing a very quick video as a kind of an update for my Grace doll, who is neither of the dolls that you're seeing here. I'm going to show you her in a second, but I thought I would show you what I've done with some of the pieces that I got with my Grace doll. So if you remember, I opened Grace doll Passion, who I will put a picture of on screen, and she basically came with this sort of a capsule wardrobe. Which this white dress here was one piece of it. So I've actually redressed my Tyler Wentworth Sydney Chase face sculpt doll. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? I kind of need to give them proper names, I think, maybe, rather than calling them that. But she's basically got the white dress on, which I think actually goes very nicely with her. I think it goes nicely because she's got the kind of the sort of the dark hair, so the kind of the nice contrast between the dark hair and the white dress. Also, if we go further down, these shoes were originally with my other Tyler Wentworth Sydney Chase doll, who you might remember, and she was basically a basic doll, and these were the shoes that she came with, and these shoes are actually fine, because if you remember, the shoes that I originally got with this gal, whose name I can't quite remember, I will put it up on the screen, her shoes had sadly kind of gone bad, which, you know, tends to happen, unfortunately, with some of the materials that are used. And I think this doll is like 20 years old or something. So, yeah, so that was her. So along with the capsule wardrobe that came with Grace, I also got a freebie, which was this pair of red leggings, which I've given to my Lacy Jour doll. So she's wearing the shoes that she originally came with, which I don't really like because one of them doesn't want to behave in the same way the other one does. In that this one doesn't seem to want to fit her foot as well, and has a tendency to kind of twist off, really, which is kind of annoying. However, that aside, I've given you these red leggings, and I've teamed it up with one of these t-shirts. So this was from a sort of capsule wardrobe that was released, I think maybe 2 summers ago, and it was basically for Elwyn Wilde, and it was meant to be what she would pack if she were travelling over to Europe to have a sort of a travel vacation, I suppose, travelling around Europe, and all the things that she would take with her. So there were lots of different t-shirts in that range. There were all sorts of things. There were shorts, there were skirts, there were bikinis, I think. But yeah, so these shirts actually fit quite nicely on this size doll as well. But they are a bit big. So they're a bit big on Elwyn as well. So they are also a bit big on this kind of the Grace body that we've got. Lacy Churchill has got kind of the same dimensions, or practically the same dimensions, as Grace has. So the t-shirt fits her fine. There's no fastenings on this, so you do have to put it over the head, which is a bit annoying, I guess, if you've got kind of a doll who has a nice hairstyle. You just have to be careful, really, but it fits very nicely, and the neckline isn't tight, so you're not going to have an issue trying to sort of squeeze it over the head. I kind of like it to one side, with almost kind of off the shoulder, because I think it kind of emphasises the fact that it's meant to be worn, you know, big, which is, I don't know if this is still a thing, but I know in recent years the idea of wearing oversized clothes has really been quite popular. So yeah, so she's got this kind of black and white striped t-shirt with these really nice bright red leggings, and as I say, her original shoes there. But yeah, I really like this look on her. I think it's quite nice, particularly kind of nice for spring, I think. Spring going into summer. So that is her. So then finally, I'm going to show you Grace. So I've put this outfit on her. So she's wearing her silver shoes that she came with. These are really nice. These fit her very well, and they don't seem to want to sort of slide off or anything like that. I think maybe with the shoes that I had for Lacy, it's because they've kind of got the double strap, whereas this has literally got the one strap, and the material is sort of a bit sturdier, I suppose. So that's the shoes. So she got these really nice jeans on. They're kind of like a mid-blue rather than being kind of completely sort of stone-washed, or, you know, sort of the very sort of dark indigo colour that jeans are. So they fit her very nicely, and she's also wearing the pink top. So I'm now going to show you what I've actually done to her to her hair particularly. So here we go. So I've washed her hair. So if you remember, she came with a kind of like a sort of a flip, and there was a lot of gel in the hair. It was also kind of tied back, so she had a kind of a small ponytail that was kind of midway down her head, and there was also a ribbon in there as well. I decided that I wanted to basically give her a hair wash, really. I didn't like the texture of the gel. I know why the gel is there, and I'm sure other people don't have issues with it, but for me it was just, I really just wanted to stroke her hair. I wanted to feel a nice soft hair rather than, oh, let me touch this kind of crunchy stuff now. It's actually worked really well. So essentially her hair had a rubber band in it, but it was on a clear rubber band. So they're probably okay, but I didn't really want to risk it, so I removed it. I know with some of the other dolls, I've got an Elwyn who's got her hair tied up, but hers is actually sort of tied up with thread, or at least from what I can see, it seems to have, you know, it seems to kind of be sewn up rather than have an elastic in it. So I removed the elastic band. I thought that the ribbon was attached to it, so that was a bit of a worry. But that was actually on a pin that was in her head, so you can remove that quite easily. You then have to undo or cut out the rubber band. It's really up to you. I managed to get mine out whole, just so I could use it again, possibly. But to be honest, I've got so many of those from unboxing other dolls that I could probably sell them to a rubber band factory at this point. So yeah, so I removed that, and then I basically just washed her hair. Now I didn't use boiling water or anything like that. I basically just used warm water from the tap. It was hot. It wasn't too hot, but it wasn't tepid either. And I just used some shampoo in her hair. I used People shampoo, which isn't a brand, it's the ones that people use. So I really just used a bit of that in there. I worked it through. I was able to do it very quickly. You know, it wasn't a long process. I did not put conditioner in afterwards. I don't think I really needed it. The hair is actually really nice and soft anyway. So once all the product was out, it was actually okay. So because I kind of wanted to try and retain some of the curl, I basically just dried the hair very gently with a towel, and then I kind of just sort of brushed it through a little bit, but not a huge amount. I kind of just let it dry naturally, and this is kind of the way that it sort of dried on its own. And as you can see, she's still got curls in there. The curls are obviously not as tight as they were when she had the product in her hair, but for me, I kind of like this. I think it goes along with the whole sort of blonde bombshell look that I really wanted her to have. I know a few people had asked about what the routing is like at the back, so I'm going to show you. So, as I say, it kind of falls okay at the front. It kind of has a parting almost here, really, where you can kind of see there's a bit of a sort of a parting line there. So it kind of falls naturally to the side. But if you look at the back, if I lift this up, so obviously the routing is a little bit thinner at the back, but the hair is very thick. She has a lot of hair. I suppose most of it is kind of at the front. So the back, you can see obviously her head. This hole here, I'm guessing, is where the pin was with the ribbon, by the way, if you can see a little hole there. For me, this is fine. The hair is going to be covering that anyway. I don't really see any kind of reason that you would see underneath this, because as I said, the hair is very thick, really. Although the routing is a bit more sparse towards the back of the head, it's certainly not to the degree that you're going to notice it. So I was kind of happy with that. And obviously with the hair like this, you could still, you know, you could still put it up at the back if you wanted to. You could do all sorts of things with it. I'm just really happy with the way that she's turned out. Also, just to let you know, as of this morning, when I checked, you can still buy her on the Virtual Doll Convention website, and I will put a link to the website in the description box below in case you wanted to snag one. So thank you for watching. This is a very short little update. If you've got a Grace doll, let me know how you're getting on with her. I haven't really sort of tried any other stuff on her. I know that some of the stuff that I already have for Elwyn Wilde will fit her, but for now I'm just kind of enjoying her in the sort of the bits that she came with. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and please feel free to share the video with anyone else you know who might like this kind of content. And I will see you in the next one. So, until then, take care, bye!